Hi and welcome. Today's all about backbending. I think a lot of people think when they think backbending, they only think of the spine and it's just like, okay, we're just bending the spine and that's what it's all about. But really healthy backbends are actually a little more complicated and there's a lot of strength involved. And I want you to think, when you think about backbending, I want you to think about the whole body. So we're back body bending, which means we're extending the front body. And that's really what it comes down to. And that means a lot of engagement in the back body for the front body extension to happen. And that's what we're focusing on today. So there's quite a lot of active back bending. Anyway, we are going to start with a passive back bend, and it involves a block. So I have a block on the ready, and if you don't have a block, a really firm pillow might do, or a couple of really thick books. So go get your stuff and come back. We're going to start lying down. You're just going to come down on your back, knees bent, feet flat on the ground, and you can let your knees fall together. It just gives a nice posture for breathing. And close your eyes. And breathing through your nose. Feel that softness in your belly, softness into your sides. And then I want you to grab your block and you're putting it on, I recommend the second setting or the lowest setting, definitely not the highest. And you're going to lift your booty off the ground. You're going to place your block underneath your sacrum. You might have to readjust once we get into the pose, and that's fine. Just readjust to make it work for you. You might have to move it down a little lower than you think. And then straighten your legs on the mat or heels on the mat. And relax. And you might find or feel a little weird pull deep down in your stomach. So this pose feels a little weird, not painful, but just weird. And the weird little pull you're feeling deep down in your belly, that's your psoas muscle, which is what we're addressing here. Your psoas muscle is this long muscle that's basically attaching your spine to your legs. And it tends to get shorter and shorter the more we spend sitting down. But this is just opening it up. A short psoas, and we can't back bend. So still focusing on the breath and get that breath all the way into the belly, even though we're not in an ideal, nice, neutral position anymore. So you're feeling that relaxation. And your breath is a very powerful tool to let your body, let your brain know that you're safe. And this is safe movement. And then bend your knees. Lift off the block. I always feel that's a little bit weird coming off the block. And slowly lower your butt to the ground. And again, moving slowly, take your knees to your chest, curl into a ball, roll back and forth, and then come up to seated. Take your chin to your chest, circle your neck. And change direction. Come to center and circle your torso. Get that movement into your spine. Remember, a healthy spine doesn't just bend and flex. We move it to the side, we twist, we rotate. That's what it's built for. Think about it. It's joints, joints, joints all the way up. That's a lot of movement. Change direction. And come to center. Make your way onto all four. And lift your palms up to that first row of knuckles and lower back down. And lift and lower. Lift and lower. Start moving in to your cat-cow. Add whatever needs to be added. So move with intuition, and there are no rules here. You're just warming your body up. You're getting ready for the deeper movements. And then come to center and walk your hands forward. Come into a puppy pose. And either forehead or chin, or maybe even your chest is coming down to the mat. Whatever's working for you. Don't compromise your neck here. So it's really just about how much opening do you have in your shoulders and your upper back. I don't have an awful lot of mobility or range in my shoulders and upper back, so I take my forehead to the ground. When I'm a little warmer, I can get deeper, but I'm not. So I'm not forcing myself into a place where I shouldn't be. And come back up. Tuck your toes. Lift your hips up and back. Keep bending your knees and then roll forward. Lower your hips, open up your chest. So it's as if a wave is moving through your body. One more time. And back. And walk it out. Find that first down dog of the day.
lengthen your back body. So much about back bending is lengthening the body as well. So we're never trying to really compress the spine or shortening our body, which is difficult. It's a difficult thing to achieve in a back bend, still lengthening the back body at the same time as we're bending it. But that's the aim. Walk to the front of your mat, come into a ragdoll forward fold. Keep that bend in your knees, just hang. And then come halfway up, place your hands on your knees. You still got these bent knees. And you're going to start this little cat-cow movement in your spine. So I want you to start rounding your spine. Move the belly button towards the front of the spine. And then start unfurling, moving into that cow pose. And as you do, start melting your belly onto your thighs, moving down. And as you come all the way down, you're going to start rounding the spine again, rolling up. And again, come into that cow pose and start melting your belly onto your thighs. One more time. Roll up, and this time you're going to come all the way up. Reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Step back to plank pose. And come all the way down onto your belly. Arms along your side. Make fist with your hands, lift your arms up and then lift your chest and lift your legs. Nice straight legs, you're reaching through your toes. Locust pose. A lot of back body engagement here. And come back down, relax. One more time. Lift your arms up. Lift your legs up. And relax. I want you to come into a Sphinx pose. On forearms on the mat, elbows either stacked underneath your shoulders or a little forward, like I'm doing. What I don't want is those elbows to be back here. Shoulder blades are sliding down your back. See if you can spread your collarbones apart. And then we're going to do this little femoral nerve floss. So the femoral nerve it's basically the front body's sciatic nerve. It's a big nerve that goes through the psoas muscle and all the way down the front of your leg. And it can cause some trouble, especially because it's actually going through that muscle. So it's a nice one to floss and open up, because so much of back bending is, as I said before, opening up the front body and opening up those hip flexors. You can't back bend without it. So flossing the femoral nerve, you're going to bend your right knee, take your chin to your chest. And then straighten the leg, look up. Bend, tuck chin. Straighten, look up. We're going to do 3 more. Move over to the other leg. Bend the left knee, chin to chest, and look up. Another 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way down. Lift up into a plank pose. Come back to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up and step forward. Lower that back knee, come into a lunge. And I want you to sink into the lunge. Get a nice stretch in that left hip flexor. Come back up. And then take cactus arms. Lift your chest. Exhale, right arm goes underneath the left. Eagle arms. Breathe into your back here. So as you inhale, feel that space being created in between your shoulder blades, in between your ribs. Inhale, come back into cactus. And then sink into the lunge again. Hands to the mat. Step back to plank pose, move through your vinyasa. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Step forward, lower your back knee, come into your lunge. And again, you're going to sink in. Come back up, cactus arms. Left arm goes underneath the right, eagle arms, breathe into your back. Back to cactus. Sink into the lunge again. Hands to the mat. Step back to plank pose. Vinyasa. Inhale, lift your right leg up. Step forward, come into a lunge. This time back knees off the mat. Lower your back knee. And then come into a one-legged camel. Maybe your hand goes to the small of your back or the back heel, whatever you're ready for. And as you do that, can you gently press your hips forward? Squeeze your butt. Windmill down, left hand comes to the mat, lift the back knee up, revolved lunge. Take that right hand down, lower the back knee, come into a lizard pose. And either just really sink your hips down. So again, you get a nice little stretch in the hip flexor, or you want to go a little deeper. I want you to take your right hand and grab that left foot. And you're going to pull the heel towards your butt. Maybe it goes all the way to the butt. And then I want you to press the foot into your hand and you open up your chest. And then move your heel towards your butt again. Gently release. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. Move your weight into your left hand. Lift your right foot up bend over. You're going to come into a wild thing. And this is really good because it's all about lengthening the front body, lifting with the back body. It's a very active back bend. So squeeze your butt, lift, 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 lengthen that front. And come back to plank pose, Vinyasa. Inhale. Lift your left leg up. Step forward, come into your lunge. Lower the back knee. And come into that one-legged camel. Again, see if you can gently push your hips forward a little. And right hand comes to the mat, lift the back knee, revolved lunge. Lower the back knee, come into your lizard pose. And again, if you have it available, go deeper by grabbing that back foot. Pull the heel towards your butt. And then press the foot into your hand, opening up. Move heel towards the butt. Gently release. Lift the back knee and come into your wild thing. Again, big back body engagement. Lengthen the front body. Back to plank pose. And this time, lower down, come into a sphinx pose. And then press into your hands, lift your forearms off the mat, come into a seal pose. Make sure your shoulders didn't just slide up to your ears. Shoulder blades are coming down, shoulders away from the ears. See if you can find some space in your chest. And then come down. Breathing through your nose. Slow everything down. And then we're going to take an active bow pose. So I want you to bend your knees. You're going to take your arms back as if they're going to grab the ankles. They're not. But I want you to reach as if you are. So you're going to start lifting your chest off the ground. Reach those arms back. And finally lift your legs. Lift, 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 lift. This is really hard. Hello, hamstrings. Hello, glutes. Lift, 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 lift. Keep lifting. And release. Notice your heart rate just went up. You're going to bring it back down. Just slow your breath down. And again, we're going to take another active bow. Bend your knees, reach your arms back, and lift. And release. And then finally, we're going to take a normal bow variation. It's going to feel nice and easy now. Grab your ankles and lift. And release. Hands by your chest. Lift up onto all four. Take a couple of small cat-cows. And then come into a downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up. Step forward, come into a lunge. Interlace your hands behind your head. And I want you to open up to the right and to the left, to the right and to the left. Hands to your heart. And then step forward, grab that back foot, come into a dancer pose. And think about everything we've been doing in this class. I want you to bring that into action. So you're going to press your foot into the hand. Think of that hole, that circle you created with your arm and your leg. Make it as big as possible. Hamstring is working, glute is working. You're lengthening the front body. Gently release. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Step back to plank pose, move through your vinyasa. Maybe you're just stepping back to a downward facing dog. It's all good. And then inhale, lift your left leg up. Step forward, come into your lunge. Interlace your hands behind your head. Open to the left and the right and the left and the right. Come back to center, hands to your heart. And then step forward. And again, come into your dancer pose. Press the foot into your hand, open up. Gently release. And then bend your knees. Make your way all the way down onto your back. Knees bent, feet flat on the ground. Slowing everything down. And then activate through your feet, activate through the back of your shoulders. Lift up into a bridge pose. Engage your whole back body. And lower back down. And you can either take a bridge pose, or if If you have full wheel in your practice, go for it. Make sure your whole back body's working. And when you need to come down, come on down. And let your knees come over to one side, recline twist. And the other side. And come to center. Hug your knees to your chest. And relax into your Shavasana. Closing your eyes, relaxing your body, and relax your breath. And of course, you're going to stay here as long as you need. Really take the time to let your body reset, let your body neutralize. And absorb all the work you just did. Thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste.